effort to be with us here, a friend of UPF. And I said that, there's no other person who can adequately share the sentiments of Mandela than his own grandson. So, Obuti, Amugela, please share with us the thoughts you have given to Rolihlahla. Thank you.
Are you there? Can
Yes.
you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay. No, thank you, Linda. My sincere apologies. The screen froze earlier and I had to change gadgets just to be able to get back. But these are the challenges of being in Mvezo, where we have limited access to this internet connectivity. But let me take this opportunity to convey our greetings to the Honorable MC, Dr. Patton Zinso, and most importantly to Mother Moon and the leadership of UPF, Dr. Catherine Rigney, the UPF Africa President, fellow speakers and participants, the global UPF family, and all who hold our global icon of human rights, dignity and peace, President Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, in high esteem. Allow me, Program Director, to express our profound gratitude to Mother Moon and the leadership of UPF for responding to the call of the United Nations, the Nelson Mandela International Day, through this webinar. I recall when we had you visiting us for Madiba's centenary, and can only say that we are looking forward to having you back here in South Africa. We meet at a difficult time in history as we teeter on the brink of World War III and a nuclear apocalypse, the ongoing loss of life in Ukraine and Palestine, instability in Sudan, Libya, and the ongoing struggle in Western Sahara, and the civil discord in other parts of the African continent, the suffering of millions in Syria, Myanmar, and Kashmir, and the global realities of poverty, inequality, and underdevelopment. This is the bleak reality that confronts us today as we meet. One may well ask what lies at the root of this dystopia and what solutions can we find in the models of President Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, Reverend Sun Myung Moon, and Dr. Hak Jack Moon, and other icons and luminaries of our time. The quest for peace lies at the heart of our being human. For this reason, humanity as a collective is moved by the suffering that we witness around the world. We feel the pain and trauma that is inflicted on our fellow human beings. We hear the cries of every mother. We are touched by the tears of children and moved by the vulnerability of all our elders. It pains us to see our fellow human beings trapped in a psychosis of violence, displacement. Homelessness strips them of their human dignity. It is into such oppressive conditions that 105 years ago, Madiba was born in the humble rural village of Mvezo in the Eastern Cape province of South Africa. Life then was not easy, much as it is still now. The hardships of rural life was compounded by 350 years of settler colonialism and 6 decades of a brutal apartheid oppression. As a cattle header in the traditional society, he experienced the complexity of being uprooted from his place of birth, the trauma of displacement, and the challenges of rural life under apartheid. He was shaped by the traditional values that molded his character and instilled in him a deep love for family. His exposure to the realities of apartheid discrimination and a life forged in the trenches of the anti-apartheid struggle from a young age led him to a lifelong commitment to the struggle for liberation. It was a path that he chose and a sacrifice that he was prepared to make. This was epitomized in his historic speech, regarded as one of the greatest speeches of the 20th century, delivered from the dock on the 21st of April 1964 during the Rivonia trial, when he said, I quote, "During my lifetime, I have dedicated myself to this struggle of the African people. I have fought against white domination and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die," close quote. It is this firm resolve not to be a spectator of history, not to sit by idly whilst humanity suffers, that drives us today in seeking peace and harmony. It is his life of struggle that shone the way in the darkest moments of our history. His life of 67 years of struggle and activism, including 27 years of incarceration in apartheid jails, inspired us to also be active agents of struggle. In all of this, he demonstrated to us that both oppressor and the oppressed were in need of liberation. Of the most important, powerful lessons that we learn from his life is the value of international solidarity. He not only inspired us as South Africans, but he was embraced by all on the African continent and all freedom-loving people of the world. In this regard, the work that the Universal Peace Federation does globally resonates strongly with the cause to which he dedicated his life. Peace is possible. Social harmony is attainable. And if we join hands on this journey, we can restore human dignity and ensure that the human rights and dignity of all humanity is respected. We would be naive to think that this will come without dedicated work, consistent and persistent social activism, and ongoing perseverance to build and restore family and social values. On such an endeavors, we can awaken in our youth and future generation a deep social consciousness and an awareness of their responsibility towards themselves and humanity at large. After nearly 3 decades of democracy in South Africa, we stand at the crossroads. Behind us is the long walk to freedom that came at an enormous price and immense sacrifice. Ahead of us lies the reality that we are still confronted by deep-rooted poverty, glaring inequality, and a society that still has much to do to fully restore human dignity. Yet we are deeply conscious that we are not alone in facing this reality. We are present to global human suffering driven by greed and a gross disregard for human rights and the common dignity of all humanity. We are reminded that despite our own pressing challenges, that as long as there is a single human being suffering anywhere in the world, our struggle is far from over. Our presence in this global peace forum today is a timely reminder of our collective responsibility. The life and legacy of President Mandela is a beacon for us on our way. Today, he is embraced by friend and foe alike. Millions around the world respond, especially on this International Mandela Day, with acts of philanthropy, charity, and making a difference. The question that each and every one of us must answer is what is to be done on our own journey to democracy and liberation. We mobilized around 4 key pillars of struggle. We worked tirelessly to mobilize the internal forces of the mass democratic movement, culminating in the formation of the United Democratic Front 40 years ago. We mobilized the world in support of our campaign to isolate the apartheid regime through building international solidarity. We engaged the armed struggle, which ultimately led to Madiba's arrest, trial, and incarceration, and we intensified our lobbying of all global forums, which culminated in the United Nations Declaration of Apartheid as a crime against humanity. So in addressing this question of what is to be done today, as we gather in this August Peace Forum, we must firstly acknowledge our collective will to work for peace and harmony. The power of such collective action is evident from the life of our global icon. Secondly, the responsibility that we have towards each other is to address the root causes of the conditions in which humanity finds itself. We can only be true ambassadors of peace when we stand on the right side of history. The late Archbishop Desmond Mpilo Tutu reminded us that we cannot be neutral in a situation of suffering. As active agents of peace, we must stand in solidarity with the poor and suffering peoples of the world. He reminded us that, I quote, "If you are neutral in a situation of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. If an elephant has its foot on the tail of a mouse and you say that you are neutral, the mouse will not appreciate your neutrality," close quote. Thirdly, the work of peace requires restoration. Both my grandfather and Father Moon had to endure incarceration for what they believed and stood for. Peace did not come easy. On the contrary, it came at an exacting price, one that we must be prepared to pay through the final sacrifice that we make on a daily basis. Finally, no peace comes without dialogue, and no oppressor will willingly give up their power and position on dominance. The global icon Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela that we celebrate today is an icon of peace himself, set preconditions for his release and subsequent negotiations. This included the release of all political prisoners, the unbanning of all political parties, and the right of return for all in exile. Peace is hard work, but we dare not give up and we dare not fail. This peace forum is evidence of the decades of hard work that UPF and all its related entities has done. There is hardly a sphere of human activity that the UPF has not engaged. It continues to demonstrate to the world that peace is possible. We are indeed honored to walk this path with you and millions of freedom-loving people around the world that yearn and strive for peace. We have come a long way, and the forum provides us a moment to reflect on the ground covered and to join together as we continue this noble journey. Perhaps it is fitting to conclude by listening one more time to the wisdom of Madiba, our elder and global icon, and I quote, "I have walked that long road to freedom. I have tried not to falter. I have made missteps along the way, but I have discovered the secret that after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. I have taken a moment here to rest, to steal a view of the glorious vista that surrounds me, to look back on the distance I have come, but I can only rest for a moment, for with freedom comes responsibility, and I dare not linger, for my long walk is not ended," close quote. We look forward to seeing you back in Mvezo, Madiba's birthplace in 2024. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Hold on. Reverend Moruti, Dr. Yang Chang-shik, the new international chairman of UPF, has joined us. He wanted very much to greet Chief Mandela, as they have not met yet before, and he also wants to give his speech, but he said he's not hearing the voice. I told him I would send Chief Mandela's speech to him, but can we check and see if we can hear Dr. Yang's voice? Chief, really, Dr. Yang Chang-shik wanted to meet you and thank you for this beautiful speech which you gave on behalf of your grandfather. Dr. Yang, can you hear us? No, I don't think he can hear. And we cannot hear him.
He's trying to speak, but we also cannot hear him.
Okay. So let me ask him. Maybe if he disconnects and reconnects.
Dr. Yang, can you hear us?
Just one moment, please. He truly wants to be here. It's right now 1 o'clock in the morning in Korea. He knows that President Yai Boni is here also, as well as Chief Mandela and Dr. Chow from Burkina, and all of you are here with us. He really wants to join, but he cannot hear and we cannot hear. I tried to call him once again. Maybe you can continue, Muruti. Chief, thank you for that beautiful speech. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Our challenge is Dr. Yan is supposed to be the second keynote speaker. So.
Yes, I'm trying to call him and ask if we can read his speech now. I have his speech here, which he wrote, but he's not picking up.
Can we see the video presentation first?
Okay. Then in the meantime, IT team, if we can have the video introducing Dr. Yang or our two parents in the meantime.
In a world yearning for peace, two extraordinary individuals emerged as beacons of hope and catalysts for change. Join us as we delve into the remarkable journey of Reverend Dr. Sun Moon and Dr. Hak Jahan Moon, the founders of the Universal Peace Federation. Reverend Dr. Sun Moon, a visionary and spiritual leader, dedicated his life to promoting peace, understanding, and interfaith harmony. His teachings emphasize the importance of love, unity, and the value of the family as the foundation of a peaceful society. Notably, Dr. Senri Moon's pursuit of peace extended beyond philosophical ideals. He engaged in groundbreaking initiatives, bridging divides between nations and ideologies. His efforts included historic meetings with world leaders such as President Mikhail Gorbachev of the Soviet Union and President Kim Il-sung of North Korea, advocating for peace and fostering dialogue even amidst political tensions. Dr. Hak Jahan Moon, the esteemed wife of Reverend Senri Moon, stands as a compassionate and influential leader in her own right. With unwavering commitment, she has continued their joint mission to create a world of lasting peace, nurturing a legacy of love and compassion. Through the Universal Peace Federation, Reverend Dr. Senri Moon and Dr. Hak Jahan Moon established a global network of peace builders, bringing together leaders of diverse backgrounds and fostering dialogue, cooperation, and understanding among nations. Their tireless efforts led to the creation of numerous programs and initiatives aimed at addressing critical global issues, from interfaith dialogue and peace education to humanitarian initiatives and women empowerment. UPF became a catalyst for positive change around the world. Dr. Senri Moon's passionate speeches resonated with audiences, urging individuals to embrace their inherent value as human beings and work towards a world of peace and harmony. His teachings emphasize the importance of living for the sake of others and transcending the barriers that divide us. Dr. Hak Jahan Moon, with her grace and wisdom, has carried forward the mantle of leadership. Her speeches inspire individuals to take responsibility for creating a world of lasting peace, where the dignity and rights of every person are upheld. The impact of Dr. Senri Moon and Dr. Hak Jahan Moon's work is felt in every corner of the world. Countless testimonials from individuals who have been touched by their teachings and initiatives stand as testament to their enduring legacy. As we honor the founders of the Universal Peace Federation, let us draw inspiration from their unwavering dedication to peace. Their vision lives on in the heart of peace builders worldwide as we strive towards a world of unity, understanding, and lasting harmony.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the footsteps and the milestones of the founders of the Universal Peace Federation, Father and Mother Moon. I hope we can have Dr. Young with us.
Reverend Maruti, it was suggested that he disconnect and reconnect, so he's in the process of doing that.
Should I introduce him in the meantime?
Yes, I think so. Why don't you go ahead and introduce him? He will probably join any minute now.
Okay, let's do that then. The next keynote speaker is our elder brother, Dr. Chan-Shik Yang. Dr. Charles S. Yang is the chairman of UPF International and concurrently chairman of UPF Korea. Previously, he served as the regional chair of UPF Central America and the Caribbean. Dr. Yang has had many important positions and responsibilities as a trusted and lifelong adherent of UPF founders, including as president of Family Federation for World Peace and Unification in Korea, chairman of the American Leadership Conference, which partnered with UPF in developing the Middle East Peace Initiative, commonly known as MEPI, which brought more than 40,000 peace advocates to the Holy Land. He also served as regional president of the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification for North America. Dr. Yang has a Doctor of Ministry from the New York Theological Seminary. On a personal note, when I graduated from UTS in 1999, I was sent to Washington, D.C., and I worked under the guidance and leadership of Dr. Yang. So I've got a personal stake. Dr. Yang, you seem to be back. Can you hear us?
He's muted.
Dr. Yang, open your mic.
Can you hear us, Dr. Yang?
Yes.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning in Korea, where he is. And he made such an effort to come. But the technical... Yes, Dr. Young, I can hear you.
Dr. Young, we could hear you a moment ago. We can't hear you now.
Oh, I think you heard him on my phone. Oh, okay, what should I do? He can talk with the phone? Oh, I have to call him then. I didn't know that. Okay. He's going to talk with through my phone.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Hello, Dr. Young, you can talk now through my phone. Yeah.
Hello, can you see? Hello, can you see?
Yes, we hear you, Dr. Young. We hear you.
Yeah, looks like there are big echo. Right. It's not
I think he should close, if he has got more than one device which is open, if he can close the other one and then use the phone.
Yeah, I think I opened my computer and my cell phone. That's why somehow it sound is mixing.
I see.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, you can hear my voice, right? I'm so sorry. No, so sorry. I don't know. I just use the computer with international headquarters conference.
Oh, yes. Rudy, can you hear Dr. Young?
Yes, I can, but there is some echo at the back. So my suggestion is, if he reads through the phone, if he can turn off the computer.
My speech?
Yes, I can read your speech
That would
for
be
you.
better. I don't want to disturb the time.
Okay, Dr. Young.
Okay, yeah,
I will read your
please.
speech, yes.
Yeah, please. And then
Okay.
I will fix my computer until while I'm ready. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Young. Very sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Muruti. Shall I begin Dr. Young's speech?
Please go ahead, Mama.
Oh. Muruti, shall I begin Dr. Young's speech?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay, he asked me to go ahead and read it. So, Honorable Chief Mandela, representing the Mandela family, distinguished panelists and the leadership of UPF Africa, centered upon Chairperson Dr. Kathy Rigney, valuable viewers of this webinar, ladies and gentlemen, greetings on behalf of Dr. Hak Ja Han Moon, the co-founder of the Universal Peace Federation, called by many people the Mother of Peace. Thank you very much for taking time from your present schedule to attend this auspicious occasion honoring a great man of our time, President Nelson Mandela. It is good to be back in Africa, even virtually, after a couple of years during which I had unforgettable experiences while traveling across the continent of Africa to Sao Tome, to Chad, to Nigeria, to Mali, and to meet prominent leaders and peace-loving men and women from this continent. I also remember most of you speaking at the webinar today, and I thank you for your constant support to our UPF founders' activities over the years. The Nelson Mandela International Day was proclaimed by the United Nations, and I would like to quote UN Secretary General Mr. Antonio Guterres' message on today's commemoration. Nelson Mandela was a colossus of courage and conviction, a leader of immense achievement and extraordinary humanity, a giant of our times, whose legacy we best honor through action. Action to expel the poison of racism, discrimination, and hate. Action to extinguish the legacies of colonialism. And action to promote equality, human rights, and above all, justice. Today, poverty, hunger, and inequality are on the rise. Countries are drowning in debt. The climate crisis is destroying the lives of those who have done the least to cause it, and global safety net. We have it in our power to solve each of these problems. So, as we commemorate Nelson Mandela's life and legacy, let us be animated by his spirit of humanity, dignity, and justice. Let us stand with women and girls, young people, and change makers everywhere, and let us take action to build a better world. End of quote. Ladies and gentlemen, the above issues mentioned by Secretary General Guterres have also been the concern of Father and Mother Moon over the years. Therefore, they have always been addressing them through their own organizations, but also the network of like-minded people around the world. I recall the 100th birthday of Nelson Mandela in Mvezo back in 2018, which was a wonderful example of cooperation between UPF and President Mandela's family. It has been the lifelong dream and mission of Father and Mother Moon to strive for the realization of a world centered on true love, mutual prosperity, where humanity lives as one family under God. To achieve this goal, Father and Mother Moon created associations that target challenges of all the aspects of human society and conducted various initiatives that bring together the peace-loving citizens coming from all corners of the world. At this conference, I am happy to see a good representation of the International Summit Council for Peace, ISCP, chaired by His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, the former president of Nigeria. The International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace, IAPP, and the International Association for Peace and Development, chaired by Imboni Dr. Radebe from South Africa, currently aiming at becoming an advisory body within the African Union, where IAPD will be able to support and augment the mission of African Union. Besides these associations, Mother Moon also launched the International Association for Economic Development for a World of Mutual Prosperity, and IMAP, the International Media Association for Peace, for more educative and responsible media. But family values remains at the core of Mother Moon's mission. The centrality of family and the family renewal movement through the Family Festival series is essential to create to create a human society where people live as brothers and sisters. In such a society, there will be no discrimination and no war. Brothers and sisters, as we celebrate Nelson Mandela today, let us remember world citizens like Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., and also contemporary heroes who invest their time and money for a better world. Let us all learn from them and replicate their life example at our own level and within our families, our organizations, and countries. With this in heart and mind, I want to wish you a very productive webinar and hope to meet you in Africa in the near future. Thank you very much, Dr. Charles Young, Chairman of UPF International.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Young.
Can you hear me?
Dr. Young is back and we can hear him now.
Okay, I just want to greeting then. Dear leaders, your excellencies, dear brothers and sisters, good morning, good evening. Actually, I'm 12:30 a.m. in Korean time. I'm sorry I made some trouble. I just switched my computer to new one. And somehow, this was old computer actually. This old computer is working suddenly. Anyway, it was great honor and privilege for me, but somehow I missed my time. But I thank you, Dr. Rigni. You read my speech. Anyway, I really want to convey Mother Moon's warm greetings and blessings to all African brothers and sisters and the leaders. I miss Africa, actually. I've been tour many nations along with Cassie and Adama, our brothers together. So now I am planning again someday, sooner or later. I'm going to visit every single nation again. Anyway, today, this year is a very meaningful day for Korean history. Actually, I just finished 4 cities tour today and came back to Seoul to depart for Cambodia. And this year, we're celebrating actually 73th anniversary of Korean War broke out. And the 70th anniversary, Korean War armistice. It was incredible tragedy for Korean history, but still, so incredible pain and the suffering and all kind of struggling going on will never end. Because of 10 million families separated into North and South. Those first generations are dying now, almost 80 and 90 plus. And many of them are dying. They're missing their families and their children, even parents and husband and wife separated. And since last several decades, North and South tried, but never work out. Just temporarily, a couple times allowed to meet each other and again blood. So, but UPF, we've been trying our best to make a reunification of Korean Peninsula. Recently, Mother Moon showed her strong determination and asked me come back to Korea. I was working for 30 years in America to assist Father and Mother Moon, and recently I was focused to support Latin America. And I was assisting to Father Moon for his international foundations based upon UPF philosophy. And now Mother Moon asked me to bring all those international foundations to Korea to support peaceful reunification of Korean Peninsula. Actually, Korean War broke out early June 25th, 1950, that Sunday morning, for 3 years and 1 month. And immediately, United Nations determined to send the army. 16 nations joined. Gratefully, at that time, Russia did not attend. And 6 nations sent medical team, and other 40-some nations sent materials. All together, 63 nations support South Korea. And of course, Russia and China, greatly support North Korea. For 3 years, 1 month, almost 4 million people died, wounded, missing, for both sides together. And even America, United Nations sent more than 2 million troops over the 3 years. And 41,000 people lost their life. Among them, American U.S. Army lost 37,000. And including, some citizens, all 50,000 people lost from U.S. side. And U.S. sent 1.8 million. And yesterday, that's why every city of Korea commemorate the 70th anniversary of armistice of Korean War. But especially we appreciate, U.S. Korea, that time the Korean president Seung-man Lee, the pursued president of USA and the Minister of Defense through his network, and eventually made kind of military agreement. And whenever Korea, becomes some crisis situation again, then USA will naturally join to protect. Under that umbrella, South Korea changed it, totally from the crashed situation to the current new development country. So until 1960, Korea was #2 poorest country because of during the war totally destroyed North and South Korea both. But one of the great leader, changed national kind of structure and industry. And in 30 years, Korea dramatically changed it. And South Korea become #7, so-called, 30-50, like a club. That means more than, 50 million population and $30,000 above GNP. So Korea become those category. Even now, #6 trade the country, import and export together. And #1 kind of renovation the country in many areas, become high tech. That was another great blessing, not just because of humans' effort, but somehow heaven escorted, guided, and blessed Korea to change this dramatically from poor agriculture nation to change the industry and high-tech nations. So now Korea, time to return to those nations to help us. So tomorrow we are going to have very special ceremony at the Korean War Memorial Building near the President office. So gratefully, we invite Ambassador of Ethiopia, a good friend of ours, and he is coming to give a special address on behalf of 16 nations, those who sent troops to Korea during the Korean War. And from government side, the many assembly members and the VIPs will join together to commemorate this 70th anniversary of armistice of North and South Korea war. So tonight we are talking a lot about President Mandela. So he is truly hero beyond Africa for whole world. So we have to learn from him about non-violence and true power and what is real true love for nation and people. So North and South Korea people also respect him and his lesson. So once again, I think through this occasion, somehow now world is watching Korean Peninsula because of North Korea. Even the other day, yesterday, they shoot again the long-range missile targeted to all entire America, every city they can. But internally, they really want to have some special diplomatic relationships with America. But externally, they just don't trust and believe USA. That's why somehow they are trying their best to make their strong defense power. But that military power cannot work. Under those government policy, more than 22 million people are almost starving now. So we are discussing in many ways to door open, and we have to bring out those young men to the international stage to make normal leader and eventually normal state. So to do that, need a lot of help from USA, Japan, and even Russia and China also should help together. So I'm sure, somehow Mother Moon, she's seeing, great bright future from this darkness. That's why somehow her spiritual sense is that by 2025, Korean Peninsula will meet the great new momentum to start the peace in the Korean Peninsula, and furthermore, Northeast Asia, the peace. Once again, thank you for your great support and your concern and your prayer. We are living and working together beyond territory as a one family under God. There is no more east and west, north and south divided. We all families are under one God, one family. Let us build beautiful, peaceful world. Thank you once again. Thank you so much, Dr. Igni, and all parents and all brothers, sisters, all audience. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chang Gyang, staying up so early in the morning in Korea and fighting to get connected. That's the spirit. When one device doesn't work, we try to find another one. Thank you. This is the spirit of Father Moon. This is the spirit of Nelson Mandela. Thank you, Dr. Yang.
Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we just had now our two keynote speakers. Now we are going to have 5 commentators. And already, of course, you can see we have taken much time, so we're going to be a little bit strict. Dr. Kiliati was saying 5 minutes is not enough. So, Mama Kiliati, we may have to nudge you a little bit. So, let me introduce our first commentator. He is Dr. Nevas Mumba. Dr. Mumba is a highly respected figure in Zambia, serving as a visionary leader, a senior pastor, and former vice president. He is the president of the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy, MMD, and a philanthropist. Dr. Mumba is born on the 18th of May, 1960 in Zambia, in rural Zambia in the north. And it's interesting, when Dr. Chief Mandela was talking, Mandela is also born in a rural area. So, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, I can't read all the information in the Bible for the sake of time. So let's really listen to the commentary from Dr. Nevas Mumba from Zambia. Let's welcome him.
Today we celebrate the UN Mandela Day. It's a day in which we reflect on the state of peace, reconciliation, and unity in the global community. The choice of Nelson Mandela is extremely important because his journey and his life represents a journey of pain, a journey of injustice, and yet once he came out of jail, we are aware that he held absolutely no bitterness in his heart, but advanced a spirit of reconciliation with the same people that had placed him in bonds. The Bible tells us that blessed are the peacemakers in Matthew chapter 5, which definitely tells us that peace is not accidental, but peace has to be made. Effort has to be made at our personal level, at family level, at national level, and now at global level. We must all contribute to ensuring that peace prevails in our time and in our world. As we remember Nelson Mandela and his attributes and virtues of commitment toward peace, we are also reminded of the founding father and mother of UPF, Reverend Moon and Mrs. Moon, who have dedicated their lives to spreading peace across the globe. In a world where war is more profitable than peace, we are having to see a decline in the numbers of peace ambassadors around the world. It remains for all of us to start at our personal level, at our home, in our country, to ensure that we become part of the solution to a conflicted world. But I would like to make a point or two that not too long ago, 7 presidents were invited to go to Ukraine and to Russia to participate in the process of peacemaking. Although we not see much success of their trip, we all would like to say from the African point of view, it was a commendable step. And the fact that they thought of becoming part of the solution to a global crisis brings us tremendous joy. And we continue to encourage our presidents and our people on the continent of Africa that we should not be bystanders and expect other people to be the ones to create peace in our global community, both overseas and within continental Africa. We have, in congratulating these presidents, we have also urged them to take seriously the challenge that is happening in our backyard of Sudan. The people of Sudan have seen the worst that any nation can see. In the same spirit that our leaders went to Ukraine and to Russia, we have urged them to cast their eyes on this neighbor of Sudan. The children that are dying, the women that are helpless, and the millions that are displaced today in that country. And this is so urgent that all of us must drop what we're doing and put our hands together and help resolve this problem and stop the bloodshed. And if we can do that now, then we're failing in our duties. And all those that are charged with responsibilities of running nations and also helping out in bringing this situation to normality, we ask that this is that time. In conclusion, our submission will be that just as the political leaders went to Russia and to Ukraine and continue to go around the world to become solutions in places of conflict, we think religious leaders must also be mobilized on this continent of Africa and globally to be used as a team that can foster peace where there is a crisis. And we think that that team and those elders from religious groupings can be constituted from time to time to participate in the effort of bringing peace around the world. I believe this day should remind us of humanity. We may look different, we may sound different, but we are all one people, created in the image of God, and it pleases God to see us hold hands together, although we are not agreed on everything. It's a world for all of us, and we must learn to live together in this one world. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mumba. Let's really appreciate Dr. Mumba's thoughts. Please allow me to introduce the next commentator. Dr. Bayon Luke Adolphe Chiao was the Prime Minister of Burkina Faso from 2011 to 2014. He holds degrees from various universities and has extensive experiences in the media, communication, and diplomatic sectors. He has served in important roles, such as Director General of the State Press Group, Sidoaya, the President of the Higher Council for Communication, and Ambassador of Burkina Faso to several countries and organizations. Dr. Chayo has played an important role in enhancing Burkina Faso's governance and international relations. Please, as I said before, I'm not reading all what is on the bio, I'm summarizing it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Chayo to really make the comments on the speeches given. Thank you.
Merci, Révérend Moruti.
Thank you very much, Reverend Moruti. I would like to greet all the eminent personalities that are within this panel. I was asked to comment the interventions that were just given, namely that of Honorable Chief Mandela and that of Dr. Young, that I listened very carefully to. Of course, time does not allow me to go deep, but when you listen to the two interventions, they join very well together. And so, giving my comments on the intervention of Honorable Mandela on his grandfather, I would say it's very sincere and touching intervention on the life of a man that he knows deeply. And I cannot bring out the essence of all that he said. I can only keep one or two points on which we can discuss a lot. But it feels as if Mandela had his fate already set for him since a very young age. Of course, he was unrooted from his home place. But because he was unrooted, he was able to see what his people was going through. And so, as I said, we have to go very fast, but can you imagine if a personality that has given 67 years of their life to fight for justice and peace, but has started from prison? On his life, many books were written. And we have to learn from this great African, as his life gave us a lesson. He said this: I refuse white domination and I refuse black domination. And for someone who lived in this suffering, it's unthinkable for someone to think that way. Yet I believe he was invested by God's will. He had God's will with him. He had to be a model, an example to the world, to show that even if in the hardest of situations, we can still live together in peace. And Nelson Mandela opened that door for everyone. So you can see that the situation changed in South Africa. But Mandela also said his fight is not done, because he knows that nothing is perfect here on earth. There are still many to do. And so his fight, we are the ones who need to bear it. Our children, our grandchildren, that ideal of peace that has been born by Reverend Moon and Mother Moon joins perfectly with his, and I find it in the declaration of Dr. Young with a lot of emotion. And he reminded us the context in which the Korean War happened. And 70 years after the armistice, it seems like nothing has changed. But there is something very fundamental that I'm keeping, is that in 2025, something's going to change fundamentally in the Korean Peninsula. And I'm sure of it, because the ideals of peace born by the Mother of Peace and the Nelson Mandela Foundation are values that are going to impose themselves, because humanity cannot eternize itself in war. And so I believe we have received wonderful presentations, and due to time, I cannot go deeper, but I just join my voice to commend and congratulate and wonder at the work of Nelson Mandela, who remains a light to us here on the African continent. And I'm talking about my country, Burkina Faso, who has gone through years of conflict. And I hope, truly pray that the light of Nelson Mandela can help us see a way out. And we are also truly convinced.
La Fédération pour la paix universelle est bien un progrès énorme.
And I believe that Universal Peace Federation, with the Mother of Peace, it will be able to solve the issue between North and South Korea. As Dr. Yang said, South Korea went from a poor country to an extremely developed one. And so the dream is for the two countries to become one powerful country and to help develop the rest of the world.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. We pray that North and South Korea can be unified very, very soon. And Mother Moon has asked Dr. Yang to come and facilitate that and fast track it. So thank you, Dr. Chow. Brothers and sisters, allow me to introduce Honorable Dr. Patricia Kiliati, is the Minister of Gender, Community Development and Social Welfare in Malawi. With a background in education, she is dedicated to assisting vulnerable individuals, particularly children, the elderly, and people with disabilities. Dr. Kiliati has successfully worked to end early marriages by engaging local chiefs in communities. She holds a doctoral degree in development studies and has degrees in counseling and guidance, finance and investment, community development and education. Her focus on social welfare and empowering marginalized groups has had a positive impact in Malawi. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to welcome Dr. Patricia Kiliati. Mama Kiliati. Mama, we cannot hear you. Dr. Kiliati. Dr. Kiliati, we cannot hear you. No, we still cannot hear you. Something wrong with the device.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Because I don't know whether if you can see me. I changed the place since I told you that I'm traveling.
Well, we cannot see you, but if we can hear you, it's better.
Oh, very good. Very good. You're able to see me a bit.
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you. Indeed, I salute you, the Director of Ceremonies. I salute the chairperson of African countries under UPF. Let me salute the international chairperson of UPF. the former president of Tanzania, of Nigeria, the former president of Benin, and the former vice president of Zambia, and all my seniors present this evening. Indeed, today we are celebrating the life of Mandela and also the lessons which we learned. The memories are still fresh because of the smiles which Mandela was giving out to a number of people, even those who hated him. The memories of the life of Mandela are still fresh as we remember the work of Mandela, the philosophy of forgiveness. Mandela believed in the power of forgiveness and also emphasized reconciliation rather than revenge. He did this not only for his own cause, but also for the people, the African people, but also the South African people, but also the global people, and also for the children and the underprivileged people. Because when you revenge those women and men and children, they're the ones who suffer. And the loss of even economy because of the revenge which one put to people. But Mandela didn't think about a ball rolling as an example of leadership and leaders to follow his steps. The memories are still fresh as we remember the love which he had for the South African people, but also for the United Nations, the African Union, and all those people whom he cherished with his life and leadership. Mandela, for instance, he invited his jail to his presidential inauguration and also visited the widow lesson which we need to learn. And we believe in that as members who are experiencing a lot of challenges in our. Remember also he had a Truth and Reconciliation Commission which he established in South Africa in 1995 to help the country come to terms with his past and move forward. Those were chaired by those members of the church and the bishop to show that the unity was not only for those in leaders or those in politics or those who be for everybody and every African person and also globally people, just to give them a lesson also to those people who might be thinking that they know it all, but not knowing that revenge won't help, but forgiveness and reconciliation helps. Despite those challenges, it's essential that we continue to strive towards peace and reconciliation and to continue Mandela's legacy. Today, the July 18th is Mandela's International Day. Unfortunately, this day is now more celebrated by the Western media, but we are looking forward to see to it that all those, the Africans, all different countries in Africa, globally, we need to celebrate the media people. They're supposed to come openly and show us the life of Mandela so that we should all also learn. That's why the African Union, the United Nations have come up with this. That's why they keep and follow the legacy of Mandela. Here today we are celebrating his life, and we thank God for his life, and we thank the family of Mandela and the Chief Mandela who was there. We salute you as we celebrate the life of Mandela, for the life which you enjoyed with our father, and the wonderful sons of the African soil who tend to be the global leader of the global soil. We salute you all and EJIOFOR for coming up with this, and we believe that as members of the politicians, the families, the couples, we need also to bring in reconciliation, peace, and forgiveness. Because if you are not going to do that, the children who are going to come out of these families, they are not going to be good leaders. And if you're not going to do that, the ones who are going to be suffering are those women and children. So he was the father, and he was an uncle, he was a dad, and he was an African man, and he has left a legacy, a very good one that we need to live to it and also learn from it. And may God bless you as we continue celebrating the life of Mandela. May he soul rest in eternal peace. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Kiriati. Let's give her a round of applause. Dr. Kiliadi is in the car. You know, she's traveling between two cities in Malawi, and I'm just enthralled by the determination of our panelists. Everybody is having problems with the connectivity, but they are determined to give their speeches. So this is really, really remarkable. Once again, you know, without further ado, allow me to introduce our second last commentator. Honorable Petros Mavimbela is a politician and the speaker from Eswatini. He is a member of parliament from 2018 and is also the branch president of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please allow me to welcome Honorable Petros Mavimbela. I didn't see him. I don't know if he's here. Honorable Mavimbela?
No.
Yeah, I was looking for him.
I think he had a special session at the parliament outside the country. Yeah, so you can go ahead to call the last.
Yeah, then let's go to the last speaker, not the least, but the last. Eminence Masumbugudi. His Eminence Samuel Masumbugudi, also known as Papa Masumbugudi. I hope I'm not butchering your family name, Papa. Please forgive me. Is a spiritual leader and legal representative of Masumbugudi community in the Democratic Republic of Congo. He is an advocate for an African ancestral vision in spirituality, political, scientific, and socio-economic domains. Papa Masumbugudi is head of the congregation and holds various administrative roles. He has received distinctions such as the Universal Ambassadors and Knights of Peace Awards, and is involved in music, writing, and leading musical groups. Let us welcome Papa Masumbugudi from the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Merci. Merci. Mes salutations.
Thank you very much. I send greetings to the family of the Universal Peace Federation. I wish to express my gratitude to all the members, all those who are working with Mr. Soir, and I also wish to honor Madam Moon and all the religious body of the Universal Federation. Today, we are celebrating the life of Nelson Mandela. He is a very key person, a very high personality, and the African youth have to relate him. Nelson Mandela has dedicated his entire life to the realization of peace in the world. And there is a very important point that we need to note. Mandela has also worked to ensure equity. He told the whites to put an end to the atrocities taking place on the continent of Africa. He also asked Black people not to hurt white people. He even went further. Nelson Mandela asked the whites not to also do anything negative to the white person, and he asked the Black person to do same, not to hurt his fellow human being. And so Nelson Mandela actually displays equity. He displays discipline in a world of peace. And I believe that all human beings, once we rise in the morning, when we go to work, everything that we do is in the quest of peace. I commend the efforts of Dr. Moon I know that from where he is, his spirit is currently in communion and communicating with us. The same for Nelson Mandela and all those people who have sacrificed themselves for peace. I also pay homage to all those from wherever you find yourself, all those who are striving to realization and restoration of peace in the world. Or the political leaders, administrative leaders, wherever you may be, whatever you do, please note that we are all working towards the same goal. Let's all think in the same vein to build a world of peace. Peace that is infinite. I believe that no religion is superior to another. No policy is better than the other. When religion promotes an open spirit, an open mind, faith in one God or many God, all our teachings actually should help us to ask the people who are following us to build peace and to be people of peace. I also wish to seize this opportunity to make an appeal to my people in the DRC, especially in the east of the country, which up until now is actually grappling with war. I believe that the people of Africa, the Korean people, Dr. Moon has fought his entire life for the reunification of Korea. We pray for peace in Korea. We pray for peace in the US. We pray for peace in Europe, in Australia, everywhere in the world. We pray for peace for species that are almost extinct. We pray for peace all over the world. May peace reign in the world, on earth, and in heaven. Each one of us has a responsibility to bear their burden. Once we wake up in the morning, let's ask ourselves the question to know, what have I done to bring peace to others? Thank you so much for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Eminent. Thank you. I think this is the good note, the idea of peace to end this. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are very grateful, Chief Mandela, Dr. Young, and all our 5 panelists. Let's give them a round of applause collectively and hand over the microphone back to our MC, Dr. Patel. Thank you so much. Dr. Patel, I send the mic back to you.
Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. Je remercie le modérateur.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful to the moderator of panel for the excellent job. Let's give a round of applause to Reverend Ledwaba. Thank you. Thank you. So we are drawing towards the end of our meeting. The meeting has been very exciting. I believe that we've spent much more time. And I wish to also take this opportunity to say thank you and congratulate the technicians of Peace Youth TV who are currently broadcasting on the Peace Youth TV television live, which is being watched in the DRC and Congo. still current.
Fois,
And so you can realize the extent to which the voice of the speakers has been taken far. I also learned that the television and radio of Southern Leadership is also doing the same. And so I wish to express my profound gratitude to all of them. Let's please give them another round of applause. Thank you.
Alors, nous venons de suivre avec beaucoup d'intérêt ce panel.
We keenly took part in this very informative panel, very informative in terms of lessons. Dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to receive or hear the congratulatory message of a very high personality who made a choice by transferring power in a peaceful way in their respective countries. They have been able to handle peace and reconciliation in a very diverse way. They have common aspiration and they have chosen to act in favor of peace, forgiveness, and reconciliation in their country whilst they were head of state. On that note, we are going to invite the keynote address, the congratulatory message of Dr. Boniayi. Dr. Boniayi is a political person, an economist from Benin. He has been president of the Benin Republic from 2006 to 2016. I also wish to highlight that while he was in power, he received and welcomed the Universal Peace Federation dedication. He has training in economics and finance. He gave pride of place to fight against corruption, improving governance, and implementation of economic reforms, which today continue to strive. Dr. Boniayi has focused on reducing poverty and has launched programs which are meant to improve infrastructure, healthcare, education, and agriculture. He has played a key role in the regional political landscape as chairperson of the African Union. He was president of the West African Development Bank. And after his tenure, Dr. Boniayi continues to be actively involved in promoting democracy, economic development in Africa, and in promoting religious values. Ladies and gentlemen, dear participants, it is a great pleasure to invite His Excellency Dr. Boniayi to take the floor. Very much, Dr. Patentinsu. First of all, I would like to respectfully thank the organizers of this event, which is an opportunity for us to jointly mark the memory of such a great man, Nelson Mandela, together with the United Nations. I also wish to acknowledge the heroes of peace. I wish to honor Dr. Hak Jahanmun, whom we affectionately call the Mother of Peace, and also all the dignitaries, the high personalities of the Universal Peace Federation. And I also wish to seize the opportunity to thank them for extending this invitation to me during the recent World Peace Summit that was held in Seoul. I also wish to extend my gratitude to the distinguished guests, moderators, and I also want to say that I listened to them with a lot of satisfaction. I want to say that a lot has been said. Everything that was said was very interesting, and I wish to thank the Universal Peace Federation. And this particular event was an opportunity to also remind myself of the speeches, the amazing speeches made by Samun, supported, Dr. Hajamun, supported by her husband, Dr. Moon. Dear friend, I wish to emphasize that out of all the tributes which are being paid to the memory of Nelson Mandela, the man of peace, I have understood that the spiritual dimension of his personality has always been omitted. But I believe that it is time for me to place emphasis on this. Of course, I am not a pastor, but I would say that I have had the opportunity to get engaged in that. Of course, after being head of state, I have had a life, and so I have been able to kind of study the life of Nelson Mandela and to really admire this icon of peace. And I want to say that Nelson Mandela is the man of God. And I discovered that in reality, in his prison cell, he welcomed or he received God. God actually paid him a visit. And it was a beautiful communication or interaction between him and God. I believe that. I am saying this because an ordinary man cannot, embark on this very radical transformation of an entire nation, South Africa, and in the world. So as far as I'm concerned, I think that there was direct communication between Nelson Mandela and God, where he received some instructions from God. And so, naturally, this issue of the spiritual dimension of Nelson Mandela has not been spoken about. And I hope that we can place emphasis on that and perhaps carry out some studies on that. At my level, I am currently doing that, and I hope that we will be able to share more on that. Dear friends, in the same vein, I would like to say that the Holy Spirit, which visited Nelson Mandela, also brought the concept of peace, forgiveness, and love to him. Love for God and love for one another. And so he shared that to his people, and he actually dismantled apartheid. This, of course, is the work of God, because it's a miracle, because I believe that a man on his own cannot achieve that. I am convinced because when I take some Bible passages, I look at Matthew 11:8, which say, for instance, that those of you who are tired, come to me and I will give you rest. And so the struggle or the fight of Nelson Mandela actually needed this particular message, together with John 15:5, where God says, without me, you can't do anything. And so the radical transformation which happened in Mandela's life in South Africa and in the world when it comes to the quest for peace, reconciliation, would not have been realized without the contribution of God. So I'll go to 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 5, which says that everything comes from God. And so this radical transformation that happened is from Mandela's rest, when he was resting in his cell, as Jesus said. And so during that particular rest time, he listened to God, and it brought about this concept of peace. So we needed this divine intervention for us to be able to realize this peace that we're talking about, where we now have 2019, the International Day of Nelson Mandela. I believe that this spiritual dimension has always been lacking, and I am convinced that we need to perhaps go in that direction. Each of us, leaders of the world, must accept this divine transformation so that divine light and peace can be able to be part of the world's transformation. This transformation and peace will continue to provide a global peace plan, which I repeat calls for faith, love for God, and love for the other, which is key. It is the foundation, and this is the revelation that Nelson Mandela received from God, and this is what is spread in South Africa, and it had an impact on the world. And so, as far as I'm concerned, the leaders of the world must accept this transformation, this divine transformation, so that divine light and prayer can be part of the way in which we manage the world. And so this peace will lead to creating a peace plan which calls for faith, which calls for the reform of the United Nations system. We need to draw inspiration for that, because so long as this system is not transformed, of course, we are trying to create peace. Peace is not a word, it's an attitude. And this must resonate within the United Nations. And this requires the reform of the United Nations and the Security Council when it comes to the birthright. And we have come to the conclusion that so long as the flexible power is maintained by the 5 powerful countries, we would never have peace in the world. I am convinced of this, and so we need to take the necessary measures to be able to operate this key reform in a way to help us to lay the foundation for sustainable peace on the world. Dear friends, we need to ensure that there is a destruction of blocks and physical barriers. I hope you know what I'm talking about, especially for North and South Korea. It's difficult. We were in Korea, same families that were divided. I was sent on a mission, on a high-level mission, and a representative from North Korea wanted me to accept a partnership with North Korea and ensure the security of the Benin people. I told him that the security or the safety of the Benin people is granted by God. But the answer I gave was that he should make peace with South Korea, that I cannot collaborate with a country which thinks that peace is invented by a human being. And so I believe that his delegation took note of that, and they came back to see me because I told them that so long as there is no reunification between North and South Korea, I will not be willing to accept their offer, the offer from North Korea. But it doesn't mean that I rejected North Korea. Not at all. I continue to let them know that I love North Korea and the North Korean people, and I continue to love South Korea and the South Korean people. But I insisted that we needed reunification of these two countries to ensure peace in the world. I also want to say that creating bridges of love is very important. I want to talk about Africa, Middle East, the Americas, peace is important. And so we need to have a global peace plan which takes into account all the tension zones. This peace plan I'm talking about should take into account Ukraine, Russia, Africa, Middle East, Asia, and the Americas. I believe that this is a prerequisite and that the blocks as we have them currently are actually hindering us from achieving sustainable peace. Talking about they're trying to ensure its security. And then on the side of Russia, we have China, also Japan, India. So we need to have a global plan, and this can only be achieved through divine inspiration, which must be spearheaded by the leaders of this world to ensure that we can emerge out of the chaos. Let me also add that we need to strive to overcome the global challenges, issues around education, health, youth, to realize the SDGs. Of course, there are other scourges and challenges that await us. For instance, when it comes to climate change, when it comes to the digital era, and so on and so forth. And I have noted that we have heroes of peace who can help us to improve the well-being of humanity. I am going to conclude by saying that the temporary heroes of peace, Dr. Moon and his wife, have received this divine message, and we need to maintain that and to keep it. This, of course, is an assurance because no other transformation of this nature can happen without divine order. I also wish to commend the works of peace that they have been able to achieve, and I pray that may the good Lord continue to support the Mother of Peace and all those that are supporting her in this very commendable work. I also wish to commend the organizers of this event. I want to commend all the members of the Universal Peace Federation and to let them know that I am with you. I also wish to thank the United Nations for actually establishing this particular day since 2019. And I believe that my call is a return to the spiritual transformation of each of us. This is key because we have been created in the image of God. To conclude, the world needs faith. We need peace. Let's emulate Nelson Mandela and collectively accept to be the channel to spread peace and divine light through faith. Let's do that, and God will support us. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, His Excellency.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for His Excellency for
very
his
warm, very
message,
deep,
really sweet
very
and
inspiring message, very educated
message.
message.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to welcome now with the same warmth and gratitude His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, a highly esteemed Nigerian politician, was Vice President of Nigeria from 2007 to 2010, then President of the Republic from 2010 to 2015. He had played a role in resolving political crises in several West African countries, demonstrating his commitment to regional stability. President Jonathan has set up the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation, which focuses on democratic governance, peace building, and the empowerment of Africa's youth. He currently chairs the International Peace Summit Council, continuing his efforts to promote peace worldwide. I have honor of inviting His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan. He wanted to participate live, but he was invited.
Il se trouve une vidéo que j'ai l'honneur donc.
Was invited to the presidency to receive the actual president, so he sent a video. Which we are going to send. Technical team, if you're ready, please share the video of His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan.
Of this event organized to mark this year's Nelson Mandela Day. It is heartwarming that the world has continued to acknowledge the contributions of Nelson Mandela to global peace, equity, and human progress years after his exit from the planet Earth. Nelson Mandela was one of the most outstanding Africans who espouses the principles of peace and reconciliation. As a hero of democracy, he was an exemplary leader with notable legacies. He symbolized these are the hallmarks of humanity's greatness. His examples are bound for world leaders to follow in administering their countries. We celebrate this year's Nelson Mandela Day when the world is challenged with hostilities, wars, and conflicts, from the Russian-Ukraine war to the civil war in Sudan and the conflicts in Libya, Congo, and Ethiopia. The world needs peace. In a day like this, affords us the opportunity to reiterate our message for peace and call for inclusive governance in our nations. Mandela, as a Democrat, promoted inclusivity, justice, and equity as pathways towards achieving peace and nation building. As we celebrate, I urge leaders across the world to emulate the exemplary leadership of Nelson Mandela, especially as it relates to peace and the use of non-violence in advocacy for rights and political goals. Leaders and followers must use this moment and reflect on the examples of Mandela. Let us take action, inspire positive change, and become peace-loving citizens. The upliftment of common good over and above personal interests is the sure way to eliminate conflict and a path to attaining peaceful growth and development in our countries and the world. As we celebrate this day in honor of Nelson Mandela, I urge us to emulate and imbibe the political attributes of our dear Mandela. Let us prioritize equity, love, and justice in our relationship. That way, we can build and build a global culture of peace.
Merci beaucoup. Accueillons donc ce message avec
Thank you very much. Let's welcome this message with a round of applause.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
Merci pour le message.
Thank you for this inspiring message and invaluable advice calling to action. Each leader present here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving towards the end of our celebration today, and now we are going to invite the representative voice to give his words. This message will be given by Reverend Jean-Pierre Kadima. Reverend Jean-Pierre Kadima Mundadi, born on the May 21st, 1959 in Kamina, Democratic Republic of Congo, is currently regional president of the FKMU Africa and president of Tongilmoto of African region. He has held various positions in organizations such as the Universal Peace Federation at the level of
République du
TR
démocratique du Congo.
Congo.
Titulaire d'une maîtrise en théologie de l'unification et d'une formation en
With
criminologie.
a master's
Un rôle important dans
degree
l'organisation d'événements
in
et à la défense de la
theology and
communauté
background in criminology, Reverend Jean-Pierre has played an important role in organizing events and advocating for the Congolese community in South Korea. So welcome, Reverend Jean-Pierre Kazima, with a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you to our MC, Dr. Paten, for giving me the floor.
Je voudrais reconnaître et saluer
I
chaleureusement
would like to
Dr. Chan Shikyang,
greet
président
Dr.
du PF
Chan,
international,
international president of UPF,
UPF
Dr.
en
Kathy
Afrique,
Brittany, president of UPF Africa,
présence du petit-fils
and I would equally like to
pour son
recognize the
message
presence of the grandson of Mandela with his
de cet homme.
brand presentation, reminding of the accomplishments of this great man. I would really like to recognize the presence of all the great leaders here and all those who took the floor. We really like to congratulate you because you have really honored this day, a day made for someone, a great man, an example to follow for
Vous avez également reconnu
everyone.
les héros et héroïnes de la paix.
We recognize
Nous parlons
because you
du grand docteur,
recognize
Madame Docteur Atiahan Moon et Samion, les fondateurs
the heroes of
EPU,
peace, Dr. Haitian and Dr. Sonia Mon, the founders of Universal Peace Federation, and the founders of
valeurs
all
et les
organizations fighting for peace in the world. We are grateful because you recognize all their actions, you recognize all their accomplishments,
faire de ce monde
and together we can
de paix, la
make this world a peaceful world. We can make this world a world of universal shared value for a long-lasting peace, the value that is run by the Mother of Peace. Yet today we saw great personalities who really showed their gratitude to all these great men. And when you express this gratitude, when you recognize this value, Almighty God can only bless you and will bless you. So as the representative of a brand moon and the mother moon in Africa, we will continue praying that God bless your families and that you should continue recognizing the values that we put forward: peace, reconciliation, and good government. Let these values be perpetuated from generations to generations. You are the champions of gratitude, and we want you to continue doing so because the future of the continent lies on it in such a way that by 2025 we should be gathered here around the Mother of Peace and make sure that at least 1/3 of the world's population should talk about peace and should fight for peace, and most importantly, for the reunification of North and South Korea to be effective. Once more, thank you for honoring UPF with your presence. Thank you for honoring the Nelson Mandela Day by your presence and your speeches. Thank you for recognizing Dr. Sonia Moon, and the model is Dr. Hajian Moon. Thank you, and once more, congratulations. Thank you for this message. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to receive the closing remarks that will mark the end of this webinar, and this message will be given by a great personality of the unification movement, the representative of elders, that is the president of the elders of Africa. So his message is really important in order to put an end to this great meeting today. So his closing remarks will be given by Reverend Bakari Kamara. Reverend Bakari Kamara, a Malian leader of the Unification Church, has held various positions throughout his career. He joined the movement in 1977, received the blessing in from true parents Dr. Sonia Moon and Dr. Hajian Moon in 1982, and has actively promoted family education and the marriage strengthening programs. He was president of the Family Federation for War, Peace and Unification in Mali, and has held positions in Australia and Nigeria. Reverend Kamara's dedication led him to become FFWP Regional President for Eastern Africa, then Chairman of the Africa Regional Group. In 2020, he was appointed co-chairman of the Choni One by true parents. Ladies and gentlemen, let's receive Reverend Bakari Kamara for his closing remarks.
You are muted.
We can't hear you, Bakari.
I was saying thank you, Dr. Paten, for such a nice word, kind word. I'm truly grateful. Dear Dr. Chang Ching Yang, the International President or Chairman of UPF, my dear sister, and we can say Mama Kati, Dr. Kati, dear all the eminent speakers, His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, former President of Nigeria, His Excellency Dr. Boni Yayi, former President of Republic of Benin and African Union, His Excellency Neve Bumba, Vice President of Zambia, and Honorable Petros Muwunda, Speaker of Parliament of Eswatini, and His Excellency Dr. Beyonce-Luc Adolphe Chua, former Prime Minister of Burkina Faso, His Excellency Dr. Patricia Kaliati, former Cabinet Minister of Malawi, His Eminence Samuel Tufudi Masukidi, legal representative of Église Lumière de Christ au Congo, and all panelists, distinguished panelists, eminent spiritual leaders, religious leaders, ladies and gentlemen, my respectful greeting to all of you. It is with a great pleasure and honor that I stand before you all to offer my closing remark at this special celebration of the UN International Nelson Mandela Day. I would like to make sure to commend Dr. Hagja Hanmoon, the Mother of Peace, Mother of the Universe, for the celebration that UPF started in Meso in July 20 to 18. I'm grateful to all the keynote speakers and the panelists who have commented and share their ideas on the topic of the day. Thank you so much. I would like to share with you something very precious. A poem that Father Moon wrote when he was just 15 years old, that has informed his action and behavior throughout his life. I quote, "When I doubt people, I feel pain. When I judge people, it is unbearable. When I hate people, there is no value to my existence. Yet, if I believe, I am deceived. If I love, I am betrayed. Suffering and grieving tonight. My head, my hands. Am I wrong? Yes, am I wrong? Even though we are deceived, still believe. Though we are betrayed, still forgive. Love completely, even those who hate you. Wipe your tears away and welcome with a smile those who know nothing but deceit, and those who betray without regret. Oh, Master, the pain of loving. Look at my hand. Place your hand on my chest. My heart is bursting in such agony. But when I love those who act against me, I brought victory. If you have done the same things, I will give you the crown of glory." Unquote. Nelson Mandela realized the need to love and forgive his oppressor. Father Moon and Mother Moon risked their lives going to Moscow to meet President Mikhail Gorbachev and to Pyongyang in North Korea to meet then Premier Kim Il-sung. They love and embrace them, although a few years back, these leaders wanted to kill them. As expressed by the different speakers, our world today is at the crossroad. More than ever, the world today needs people who can overcome resentment, injustice, prejudice, and offer themselves selflessly for the sake of building one human family under God. In other words, according to the core value advocated by the founder of Universalist Federation, we are one family created by God, the Creator. Therefore, the highest quality of human beings are spiritual and moral. Besides, each individual comes from a family unit, which is the natural nest where we all learn love, peace, and living for the sake of others. These qualities, which are actually encrypted in this poem we just read, they are essential value that make us a heavenly heroes of peace and drive us to stand as active peacemakers. To conclude, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the leaders of this and the staff of UPF of Africa for organizing this important webinar. As humans, we are still capable of greatness. We can all contribute to build a world of lasting peace, a world of interdependence, mutual prosperity, and universal shared values. Thank you once again for your patience and your listening. God bless you.
Merci beaucoup. Merci.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Thank you very much, Chairman Bakari, Kamara for his message full of wisdom that has brought us so much inspiration and advice, giving us inspiration from the words and the works of Reverend Dr. Sun Myung Moon and Dr. Hak Jahan Moon, as well as Nelson Mandela. Excellencies, the panelists, together we have just gone through a very important moment in the establishment of a world of peace. Once more, we would like to express to you our deepest gratitude for your support and your commitment to the Universal Peace Federation and its associations. We are truly grateful to have collaborated with you. Once again, we express our deep gratitude for your support and commitment to UPF and its mission. We are honored to have had the opportunity to collaborate with you and look forward to continuing our work together as we expand our scope and partnership for action. With our sincerest thanks, let us take a family photo. A video song will end this commemorative webinar celebrating the heroes of peace and reconciliation of our time. Thank you for your kind attention, and we'll see each other very soon for another webinar for peace, reconciliation, and forgiveness. Please, I would like to ask you all to open your cameras so that we can take a family photo all together before separating. Thank you to Dr. Young. Thank you to Chief Mandela. Thank you to the different panelists, and particularly, importantly, thank you to His Excellency Dr. Thomas Boniai and His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. You get hungrier as you eat, as we say, and so we all stayed together till the end without difficulty, with ease. And as His Excellency Dr. Thomas Boniai said, you need to be inspired by God to be in such a meeting and to stay in such a meeting from the start to its end. So truly thank you for your patience. Thank you very much to all those who have followed us via Zoom, via Facebook, YouTube, and via the TV that we have there in DRC, and all those who have followed us live. Thank you very much, and may God bless you all. The technical team, if you like to play the video so that we can say goodbye to each other with gratefulness and peace.
Alors, pendant que la chanson se déroule,
so as the song is ongoing,
Let me work in
Thank you very much. Just an announcement that just came before we go our ways. A very important information. On the 20th, meaning in 2 days, July 20th, we will have a special webinar that will be organized by the Interreligious Association, the Interreligious Association for Peace and Development, one of UPF's associations that is organizing a very special webinar on the topic of, on a very important topic, and that webinar will be held from 15 GMT, so 3 p.m. GMT, meaning 3 p.m. in Abidjan and those around, 4 p.m. in Nigeria and Benin and countries around, and of course, Kinshasa, DRC. So please do not forget this meeting. It will be a very important one. Many personalities and many leaders from Africa and the other regions and continents will join us and share with us. And this webinar, the information about the webinar will be shared later on. So we can now continue in saying our goodbyes. And so good night or good morning to Dr. Young, as he stayed with us the entire evening, the entire night in prayer. Thank you very much and congratulations. And thank you very much to His Excellency Dr. Boniai. Dr. Young, would you like to say something?
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you, Your Excellencies.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Rini, thank you. Thank you, Jinsu.
Merci. Merci. Donc, on honore Madiba.
Merci. Muchas gracias.
Merci.
has stopped.
One thing I've noticed, Premier, while I've been here, is that Northerners seem to have, I would almost call it obsession about the Igbos. Could you perhaps explain that to me?
Well, the Igbos are more or less the type of people whose desire is mainly to dominate everybody. If they go to a village, to a town, they want to monopolize everything in that area. If you put them in a labor camp as a laborer, within a year they will try to emerge as headman of that camp, and so on. Well, in the past, our people were not alive to their responsibilities, because you can see from our northernization policy that in 1952, when I came here, there weren't 10 northerners in our civil service here. Then I tried to have it northernized, and now all important posts are being held by northerners.
Is this policy of filling all key posts in the north solely with northerners, not with other Nigerians, a temporary or a permanent one?
In actual fact, what it is a northerner first. If you can't get a northerner, then we take an expatriate like yourself on contract. If we can't, then we can employ another Nigerian, but on contract too. This is going to be permanent, I should say, for as far as I can foresee, because it will be rather dangerous to see the number of boys who are now turning from all our learning institutions, coming out with having no work to do. I'm sure whichever government of the day might be, it will feel rather embarrassed, and it might even lead to bloodshed.
Doesn't this damage the idea, sir, of all people in all regions in Nigeria being fellow citizens of one country?
Well, it might, but you are, I mean, new to our region, but how many northerners are employed in the east or in the west? The answer is no. And if there may be 10 laborers employed only in the two regions.
What Bello said was mostly true. The Easterners at that time were the most progressive Nigerians. They were in top positions all across government, and with Ironsi and Easterner in power, the northern fear was that the East would dominate Nigeria forever.